Yo, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the video for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. My name is Ventus. In this Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree build video, I'm going to show you a really powerful Dragon Slayer Greatkatana build that you can only do if you have the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. The Dragon Slayer Greatkatana is a Shadow of the Erdtree DLC weapon that combines the power of a colossal sword with the slashing capabilities of a katana. This build is so powerful that I actually went back to the base game and destroyed over half a dozen bosses, most of them dragons, and even slayed a few DLC dragons as well. Now really quick, before I show you this build, do me a small favor and sub to this channel with notifications on for Elden Ring builds and guides, and after this video is over, head on over to my channel for more Elden Ring content by checking out any one of my playlists for Elden Ring. Alright, so the weapon I'm using is the Dragon Slayer Greatkatana. This weapon is actually so perfect for playing Elden Ring, dragon slaying aside. It's perfect because you can not only use this gigantic slashing weapon that allows you to attack most common enemies from a safe range, similar to the Nagakiba, but you also have its unique ability, the Dragon Wound Slash. Now, the Dragon Wound Slash is a skill designed to hunt colossal dragons. It cloaks the blade in a jagged gravelstone aura before performing a high leaping slash. You can charge the attack to fire the aura. Listen, the aura that you fire off takes chunks of health off of anything, especially dragons. If you use this attack while targeting a dragon's head, it's literally curtains for the dragon. When I was using it to go hunt down dragons in the base game and the DLC map, it would usually take 2 to 3 Dragon Wound Slashes to a dragon's head to stagger them, breaking their stance. Admittedly though, on some of the more powerful dragons, they were not as easy to stun, though this weapon still made it super easy to fight them. Not at all like it was before this DLC weapon was a thing. And you know, even on non-dragon bosses, the Dragon Wound Slash was dealing crazy damage numbers. Now, if you don't have this weapon, you can pick it up from the Dragon Pit Cave in the DLC map. I have a full video detailing how to get this sword, which I will link in the description of this video in the pinned comment, as well as the end screen as a thumbnail link, that all you have to do is click on the thumbnail link at the end of the video. So I'll also put a few more helpful videos on the end screen as well, so be sure to watch this video to the end so you can just easily click on those videos to get to those guides. Now, when you do get the Dragon Hunter Greatkatana, you're gonna really want to allocate your stats in such a way that makes this weapon hit as hard as possible. For your Vigor or Vigor, I'd say a good range would be between 50 and 60. Your Mind doesn't have to be super high because the Dragon Wound Slash only costs 18 FP, which isn't really a problem at all, especially because things are so easily defeated using it that I rarely even had to take an FP flask. Endurance, I will say, should be on the higher side. The only problem that I seem to run into with this build, even with my endurance at 50, was running out of stamina from spamming the Dragon Wound Slash attack as much as possible. 50 is a safe number though if you're smart about how many times you use the attack in a row. Don't be a dummy like me and only spam Dragon Wound Slash or you're going to run yourself out of stamina real quick. So 40 to 45 endurance should be fine. When it comes to strength, I have it at the bare minimum for this weapon, which is 15, because my dexterity is boosted way past normal. Now, full transparency here, I have mine right now at 72. Yeah, I know, that's kind of like Mickey Mouse, as the comments like to say about my stats, but I did have it at like 60, a normal number, and I wanted to test to see if having it higher did anything useful with how soft caps and hard caps go in this game. But honestly, boosting it up that high was a slight difference in damage. But if you don't have a level 272 character like I do, honestly, keeping your dex at 55 to 60 should be just fine. This build uses 0 intelligence, so you can keep that really low. I have mine at 9 and ran into no problems there. For your faith, put that at 30 at the very least, so you can use all of the incantations that I'm going to tell you about in just a second. And for your arcane, dump whatever's left into it. I actually worked my stats around so that I could have at least 40 in my arcane. Now, even though my character is super over level, the only thing I really did with those extra levels was just boost my vigor higher than was really necessary. Now that stats are out of the way, the next thing to look at is armor, and the perfect armor for a dragon hunting build is a set that increases your dragon hunting damage, and so far as I know, only one set like that exists, and that's the Rakshasa armor. Now, it doesn't just increase your damage versus dragons, it increases your damage overall. Now, you can pick up the Rakshasa armor set along with another Greatkatana in the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC map. On the end screen, I'll link my video guide giving you full details on exactly how to get to the Eastern Nameless Mausoleum and what to expect when you get there and an easy way to defeat the mini-boss that's there. But, as a word of caution, once you get the armor, be careful, because even though it does increase your damage output, it also increases your damage intake. But don't worry, I have a few ways to deal with that, and the first way is with Talisman. For Talisman, there are for me 3 standard talismans to run with this build to make it hit as hard as possible. The first one is the Godfrey Icon, an item that enhances charged spells and skills, which the Dragon Moon Slash counts as a charged skill. The next talisman is the Axe Talisman, again another item that enhances charged attacks. The third is the Shard of Alexander, an item that greatly boosts the attack power of skills. All 3 of these items are designed to make that Dragon Moon Slash hit like a Mack truck. Now, for the 4th talisman, I really do suggest using that for something that boosts defense against whatever boss you're facing. As a default, I usually keep the Dragon Crest talisman in the 4th slot because it boosts physical damage negation, though if I'm fighting a dragon that deals crazy fire damage or something like that, I'll switch to the Flame Drake talisman. Now, if you're a better player of Elden Ring than I am and you don't need the extra talisman for protection, a few more damage boosting talisman to try would be the Two-Handed Sword talisman to enhance attacks with two-handed weapons, the Blue Dancer charm which raises attack power with lower equipment load, or the Ritual Sword talisman that raises your attack power when your HP is at max. Now for the incantations. I have a few that I use no matter what now whenever I fight a boss, and they are the Golden Vow to increase attack and defense, Flame Grant Me Strength to increase physical and fire affinity attack power, and then there's Black Flame's Protection to enhance physical damage negation, and then Flame Protect Me to have a little bit of defense versus fire breath weapon attacks, because most dragons, they have a fire breath weapon. Now, if I'm fighting one of those Farum Azula dragons that also spit lightning, I'll also use Golden Lightning Fortification, which actually helps a lot. That with the Bolt Drake Talisman pretty much keeps me alive through most dragon lightning attacks. Attack incantations I don't really use with this build, but for the benefit of my Mimic Spirit Ashes, usually I keep Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike because the spell is just overpowered versus damn near any dragon or anything in the game at all, and whenever my Mimic uses it, it really does take chunks off of everything. When it comes to the Mixed Wondrous Physic, I kind of go overkill on the protection. I use Opaline Bubble Tier paired with the Opaline Hard Tier. These two together pretty much guarantee that you won't take any damage from the first attack you get hit with after you drink your physic, because sometimes getting close enough to these dragons to target their head with the Dragon Moon Slash can be a little tricky. Now, using this build in combat is super simple and very, very safe. When you're zone clearing, just blast far off common enemies with the Dragon Moon Slash before they get too close, and if it doesn't kill them, it will certainly knock them back. So once they're on the ground, charge up for another Dragon Moon Slash, and that one probably will finish them off. For groups of enemies, it is not a good idea at all to try to use a Dragon Moon Slash, so instead of slashing them with the Dragon Moon Slash, just hit them with sword normals until they're all dead. When you're up against bigger enemies, catch them with the Dragon Moon Slash from afar, but if they do get close, jump heavies and charge heavies really do a number on them. A charge heavy will knock some of the bigger enemies back, and that will give you a perfect window of opportunity to use the Dragon Moon Slash. Now, when it comes to bosses, use the Spirit Ashes to attract aggro, and then just pump out Dragon Moon Slashes as much as you can, knocking chunks of their health off. Charge heavy attacks are good weapons against bosses with this build as well. If you can manage a fully charged Dragon Moon Slash while directly in front of a boss so that the charged aura and the blade, the physical blade, hit them simultaneously, that's a really, really good hit. And when it comes to dragons, try to throw Dragon Wound at their heads as much as possible. When you're able, get right up under them and slash away with normals and heavies at their legs, and even target their head from below their bodies with Dragon Wound Slashes. That seems like a really safe spot to launch the Dragon Wound Slash from, because their attacks all go kind of outwardly and you're sort of protected from the inside for the most part. Now, if you need to, use Torrent to close the distance between you and the dragons. A few Dragon Wounds to a dragon's head should be enough to stagger them so you can chop their heads off. Alright, and that's going to be it for this Dragon Hunter build video. If it was helpful in any way, shape, or form, please don't leave without leaving a like. For more, head over to my channel and browse my playlist for Elden Ring. Guys, my name is Ventus, and thank you so very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.